Tonight on The Roast, 3,000 people protest against hunting in national parks, Telstra wins a $1.1 billion defence contract, and $50,000 is found in a suitcase in a charity shop. Did that suitcase sort of look like a box with a handle, $50,000 inside? I think that might be right. Queensland police are investigating the discovery of $50,000 found inside a $5 suitcase at a local charity shop. The enormous sum of money was discovered when a person entered a shop and attempted to purchase the suitcase. Man, can you just imagine the reaction of the person who lost out on a case containing $50,000? $50,000! Though, of course, because the money was second-hand, it was really only worth about $20,000. But at the end of the day, no one wins in this story. Not the guy who lost the suitcase, not the guy who tried to buy the suitcase, and certainly not the guy who was expecting the suitcase so that he could return that hostage alive. 3 lives ruined. 4 lives ruined. And this suitcase discovery came just one day before the launch of the Vinnie's Signed Finds campaign, where they're giving you the opportunity to get your hands on signed merchandise from famous sporting legends. Items that are being randomly hidden in 650 stores around Australia. So with these two elements combined, there's never been a better time to traipse through your local shop that smells like Grandpa and is filled with Grandpa's things. I certainly remember the day I found treasure at Vinnie's. Oh my God, I love this. He completes me, and finding him was the happiest day of my life. A close second was the day I found $100 right here in the Roast Studios, in a wallet, inside a pair of jeans, wrapped around the legs of Marty, our studio director. For more now on the effects that this $50,000 discovery will have on op shops, we cross to Rachel Corbett, who volunteers at her local Vinnie's one day a week. Rachel, I imagine you're seeing an influx of new customers.
The story's going to the dogs, Tom. The only people that come here these days are just after the sweet green. Our op shop isn't a store for opportunities anymore. It's a store for opportunists. And if they want $50,000 in a briefcase, they can go and talk to Andrew O'Keefe.
Oh, but Rachel, surely it's nice to see more people supporting charity.
They're not supporting charity, Tom. They're opening every drawer, they're smashing every pot looking for Zelda rupees. They're putting their grubby little fingers on everything.
Yeah, they're already pretty grubby. But obviously this is taking its toll on Vinnie's.
Tom, every few years something like this happens. People don't get that most of this stuff is just junk. See, that's worthless. What bank is going to accept that?
I'll take that.
Don't you try and spend that in this store.
Well, the police are now trying to find the rightful owner of this money. Seaton, is that very likely?
I don't think someone lost this money, Tom. I think they donated it.
But if a person wanted to donate it, wouldn't they just present the shop with one of those giant cheques for $50,000?
Not a good idea, Tom. Last time I did that, they sold it for $5.
Seaton, you got to start using regular sized cheques, man. It's really annoying. Next up tonight, the Australian Government Defence Department has awarded a $1.1 billion telecommunications contract to Telstra, which will allow battleground communications to be better integrated with satellite networks and traditional fixed-line phones. Fixed-line phones? War is hell. The 6.5-year or 78-month contract is a break from Telstra's usual 24-month ones and means the military will have to wait until 2019 to upgrade their handset. Well, unless they want to terminate their contract early, in which case I don't think Evan from the Telstra store is going to say no. The new deal will support 100,000 users in Australia and overseas. So if you're wondering where that $1.1 billion is going, you can bet it's being chewed up by those bullshit international roaming charges. Of course, the government's decision is good news for Telstra shareholders, such as the government, as well as for the Australian economy, with the creation of 350 new jobs. Roast reporter and Telstra shareholder Nick Richardson joins us for more. Nick, what are you doing?
Helping create more jobs, Tom.
With a balaclava?
And a syringe. And if need be, this strangling wire. I call it the stimulus package.
Why?
This billion-dollar deal only exists because there's a war in the Middle East. That's why we need new wars in other countries. New wars mean more Telstra contracts, which means more of this.
So you're going to start these wars?
Well, I'm trying. I've been taunting Kim Jong-un. I sent ricin to Barack Obama. Hell, I even killed Margaret Thatcher. Winter is coming, Tom. And war. War is also coming.
You're a maniac.
Yeah, and once I've given Ahmadinejad one of these, Australia will be at war with Iran, Telstra will be installing those communication towers, and I'll be cashing those sweet, sweet dividend checks. It's back to work, Tom.
Nick Richardson there. he is a bad man. And finally, around 3,000 protesters rallied outside New South Wales Parliament yesterday following the O'Farrell government's decision to open up 79 national parks in New South Wales to recreational hunting. Now, those national parks are visited by around 6 million people every year, and the main concern is that shooters will now come in guns blazing. As former candidate for the Shooters and Fishers Party Jim Puri noted,
"Well, you don't know what they'll shoot. I'll shoot your sheep or shoot anything."
Anything. And one thing that's anything is children, with one concerned mother at yesterday's protest saying children might be mistaken for an animal. A risk made all the more immediate given the protesters dressed their children as animals. And if that risk seems small, just look at the hunting trophies in the office of Shooters and Fishers MP, Robert Borsak. Animal head, fox, small child. Now, Mr. Borsak, pictured here next to an elephant-coated bullet, has come under fire following the emergence of a video in which he labelled Australia's gun laws as stupid. And if there's anyone who knows about stupid laws, it's Mr. Borsak. Did you know that even if he'd wanted to, Customs would not have let him bring home that elephant he shot in the head? It really makes you question whether it's even worth killing an elephant. And so Mr. Borsak's determined to stop this madness spreading to other countries.
Well, what I'd say to the people in America is fight and fight hard. There's no way Australian gun laws are appropriate or should be enforced or even should be enacted in the United States. What's appropriate for Australia, and our gun laws are not appropriate for Australia even. To think of trying to do anything as stupid as that in the United States, the land of the free and the home of the brave, is an absolute disgrace.
Comments that some critics now say should force Premier O'Farrell to tear up his national parks deal with the Shooters and Fishers Party. For more, we cross now to Mark Humphries, who is a member of that party. Mark, how many elephants have you shot?
Oh, I'm not a shooter, Tom. I'm a representative of the and Fishers portion of the party.
Oh, right. Well, how are you feeling about the whole hunting issue?
Well, we're feeling ignored, Tom. We've always been very supportive of the shooters' agenda, but lately it feels like it's always about them. Me, shoot, shoot, shoot. It's high time our voices were heard. Quietly. We don't want to disturb the fish.
Well, have you ever thought about just going out on your own?
Who do you think we are, Tom? The sex party? We can't keep the numbers up without the shooters, which is why I brought my gun-loving buddy Clark out here, so that he can see what we're passionate about. So wonderful to be in touch with nature, isn't it? So peaceful.
Yeah! Oh, Mark, you're right. This is fun. Die, Nemo.
Clark, you promised we were going to catch and release.
Oh, sorry. Be free.
So, Mark, has the fishing community weighed in on this deal to allow hunting in national parks?
Well, we've tried to see it from the shooter's point of view. Clark and I actually went on a hunting trip together.
Really? Clark, did you enjoy that? Clark?
One shot means yes, Tom. But I didn't enjoy it. My fishing for wild boars idea didn't really go as well as I'd hoped. It was the one that got away. Eventually.
And what about you, Clark? Clark, stop talking with your gun. Now look, shooters say they just want to help cull feral animals, and that's fine, but the public feels a little uncomfortable with so many guns being brought into national parks. What's your opinion on that?
Tom, you're painting me to be some sort of monster. I'm like these kids. I just want to get in touch with nature. In particular, nature's head and its neck, and sometimes its leg if it's dark and I miss. And when that happens, I have to put my knife deep inside nature to ease its passing. It's a circle of life. But I promise you, Tom, I would never deliberately shoot a child.
Clark Richards there, father of 3. Oh, I hadn't heard. Father of 2. Good night.